Okay, the end of the music is my cue to get back on. Whew. All right. Turn the game music back on. Pull it up for you guys. Oh, and we keep going. I had to move our character a little bit because it was playing a track over our track. And we can't have that. All right. Help the Raver start a nightclub. Looking at the spookers in the church. Nord doesn't want to talk to you. The signs aren't synced. And find a tape with a melody for Egghead. Okay. All right. Back to the church. Wow, 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 wow. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height.
Open the padlock with a key, I don't care.
The lock turns easily. You hear a click as the shackle pops open.
This is a scary cross. Looks orthodox.
Let's go.
The lieutenant nods at you. Pull on the doors.
As you do, you hear the echo of the doomed commercial area. Its black halls and dusty machines. Then the feeling passes. A great whoosh of air rushes into the dark innards of the church, as though rushing to fill a great vacuum. In the heart of the city.
Whoa. This looks dope. A strange stillness fills you as you look ahead. You should walk here, not run. Feels like it's trying to become one with the church. More of a forked lightning pattern you saw outside. This place is dope. The blackboard is filled with complex equations. They look recent. Something to do with radio frequencies? 2 decks of reel-to-reel tape spinning on empty. A portable Harman Waushi tape recorder. Someone else is siphoning electrical current from outside into this antenna. What's going on over here?
A machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity.
Oh, this is sick.
Another radio computer. And this time it's already turned on.
He seems cautious around the machine.
These machines sometimes harbor traps, he thinks. Alarm systems and the like. Let's be careful.
Nah, let's fucking check it out.
We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case.
Yeah, just let me investigate it. Step behind the computer.
You see fluorescent play and print buttons on the keyboard. A hatch connected to the central compartment is wide open. The lieutenant says nothing. You see the machine's glowing frame reflected back from his diamond-shaped glasses. You're free to proceed.
Look inside the compartment.
Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smoldering in the dark like fireflies. Silver tape on the side says, in black marker, log, February to March. This is the machine's filament memory. Press play to access its contents.
Press play.
The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice sounds 100 years old.
Good afternoon, Fortress Accident on Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
It's the same old woman you spoke with through the radio computer in the doomed commercial area.
I looked inside the core, but the tape on the filament just said log February to March.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer.
I don't know the password.
Received. I will register this login attempt. Fortress Accident, is there anything else I can do for you today?
Thanks, I'm finished with this call.
Goodbye, Fortress Accident.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated,
Plus
revealing
print.
nothing happens.
Leave. Okay, so there's more to be done here, certainly.
In white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad, a dark and radiant majesty. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel.
I'll kneel.
Your knees touch the floor. The floorboards are hard and cold. There you kneel among the snowdrifts, diffuse light falling on your hands from beyond the glass.
Close your eyes first.
The world is silent, but for the creaks and cracks of the massive wooden structure behind you. It covers you from the wind outside. In the darkness, you sense her eyes on you, inspecting you with their multicolored glass, as if you're a bug under a microscope.
Open your eyes.
The woman looks down at you kneeling. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. There is a sad smile on her lips and a glint in her green-blue eye of what? Compassion? Remorse?
It's compassion.
As that soft word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder.
Do the same as you get up.
Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times. Then you rise from your knees into the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles her distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass.
Who is this, Kim?
It's Dolores Day. I believe we are in the Dolorian Church of Humanity in Martinez, or the Small Pinewood Church in some records.
You knew of the place?
It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Ravachol's founding, 300 or so years ago, by first-generation settlers.
What else do you know?
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them. The 7 Sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find anything connected to the lynching here. Something else, perhaps?
He looks at the machinery lying around.
A pang of guilt. The lieutenant is leaving something out.
Do you know why it was abandoned?
I have a theory, yes. There was a police raid a while back. I heard the place was shot to pieces.
Who conducted this raid?
Well, your station was involved, I hear. Although I can't be sure.
You're not sure?
3 precincts were involved in the raid, and people say Precinct 41 was one of them.
I don't remember being here.
I am pretty sure it was a clandestine operation. I don't know anything more about it, why it was conducted, or who participated. I try not to pry into extra-district matters.
If I was here, I should find out what I was doing.
Good luck. You will not get information on a confidential operation from your station secretary just by calling. If you really don't remember, it might be better to keep this one forgotten.
I'm not sure I agree.
It happened a while ago. It's unimportant to our business in Martinez now.
Okay, so 2 white checks. Encyclopedia and Visual Calculus. Let's turn away. Encyclopedia and Visual Calculus. This is minus Visual Calculus. Encyclopedia. +2 Encyclopedia, okay. We'll put that on. Encyclopedia and Visual Calculus. Encyclopedia, Visual. +1 Visual Calculus, thank you. Encyclopedia and Visual Calculus. We're taking our time here. Encyclopedia and Visual Calculus. Okay. All right. Let's give it a go.
The mother of humanism stands above you, a precious and complex wax painting on a single pane of glass. A crack runs across the length of her body, her face oval and sad.
Oh man, you could see the orb and the staff and the crown of a ruler. How do I know that this is the mother of humanism?
Despite the damage you've done to yourself,
12.
the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. The innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being ever to have lived. No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever, as it haunts all men.
Wait, what exactly is an innocence?
The highest category of historic individual, an embodiment of the world spirit.
A ruler?
More, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the Real Belt is built to accommodate Innocentic rule should it coincide with our time. An innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway? Only accelerated, packed into decades instead of centuries. An innocence is a continuous, compressed event, a sacred human being. It is an honor and a glory to live when one is in office.
Is one in office now?
No, we are alone.
Okay, when did she rule?
300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Isola, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Muindi. She is, among other things, the innocence of inter-isolary travel and the connected world.
What else do I know about her?
Many things. You know she was a woman of the court, the wife of an influential Marchese, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene La Navigateur, Queen of Suresnes, modern-day Sir La Clé. Also that she was gorgeous beyond beauty. Draped in ancient sadness. Are you sure you want to remember this bit of historic trivia? Standing under a long, slender form like this, dwarfed?
Yes! Big bummer! Boring history! Gotta keep it light, man! Keep it moving! Get fucked up instead!
Where is this coming from?
The past. It's a silo of sadness, fermenting. You should keep away.
Fuck this pain, Bratan! It's unhealthy!
Is it unhealthy? Okay, what else? Was she smart?
Terribly. Women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. A simple grasp in matters of philosophy, theology, and science was encouraged. She was, by all means, a kept woman.
Huh, I want to learn how to play bridge.
She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state, a scalpel, a piercing gaze. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels. Even before she was declared an innocence, her influence was tremendous.
How come?
It was on her advice that Irene La Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale. A costly, often tragic endeavor, ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era in history. The DeLorean era.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. When her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was so overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest. Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress.
I want more.
As did we all. The lands of the Mesk and the Occident, and even far away Supramuindi, altogether 21 of the 40 mundial nations of the time, immediately accepted Innocentic rule, even before her crowning.
Her crowning?
In a city called Advesperaskit, in Vespa Messina, her homeland, the name of the city means evening comes, but it happened on a winter's morning, with the canals frozen and slush falling out of the sky. She was dressed in a white and pearl dress on an emptied-out plaza with the crowd far away. Already, her Theriers, the secret servicemen of the Innocents, were worried about an assassination attempt.
She must have been beautiful.
Oh yes, she looked like humanity's young mother, a perfect mother. Insultingly beautiful. It was as if her face and shoulders and hands were covered in a soft down of underfeathers. You know this well, very well. Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. A small attaché of officials stood by as her Theriers placed a white gold wreath on her head. The crowning was mostly witnessed by secret servicemen.
Then what?
One of the men in this secret service killed her 22 years later. A young man who had come to suspect that Dolores Day was not entirely human, but something else.
What?
Something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until it decided to interfere in the course of our history. We were supposed to come up with this ourselves. The man was reported to have screamed at the Innocents. Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm, like a furnace, and that sometimes, while on duty, he observed her forgetting to breathe for over 10 minutes. This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It is commonly attributed to mass hysteria and religious psychology.
Was there something terrifying about her?
Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged for your semantic memory, or what remains of it. But terrifying, it's a simple word. She was bad for humanity, and you shouldn't have started thinking about her.
No. Was there something bad about her? I want to know.
You already do. Although she is often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Day, constantly surrounded by her Theriers. She was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the Innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal for the campaigns she waged against the Mesk state. And then there were the resettlement programs.
What happened?
The Mesk state tried to detach itself from Innocentic rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secularism. Her mandatory education programs and mass resettlement of upstream Marguerite were problematic as well. Dissenters were suppressed by a military force she called the Army of Humanity. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Day often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger and thumb in icons such as this. She was also blonde, the blondest woman you have ever seen, with green eyes the color of the Pacentic, mare interregnum. Little is known of her Marchese husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role, which was to introduce Dolores Day to court. In conclusion, yes, there is something lonely, paranoid, and even terrifying that people seldom mention, but feel when they think of her.
Lieutenant Yefrater, you've stood there for over 5 minutes.
The lieutenant's calm voice echoes in the cold air of the church.
What are you thinking of, if I may ask?
She's not human.
Okay.
Then he takes off his glasses to clean them. Then after a while he says,
This church, the coast in general, we shouldn't linger here. This isn't a good place to get lost in. We should conclude our business and move on.
reconstruct the cracked glass.
The shards glimmer in the dark. You see little pearls of light on the edges of the crack that splits the female figure. Something was written there. Remains of broken letters line the emulsion. What it said, you do not know.
Turn away. Can't walk through there, unfortunately. But I can go over here to where there's money. I know it says I should walk in here, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, thank you. And some boots, +1 empathy. Brogues. Spider has spun its web around the wood-carved pillar. The bowl is filled with water. A live wire runs directly into it. Could these wires work as contact microphones?
The silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. All the shifting matter and shuffling of living things is gone. Nothing seems to exist beyond the church anymore. Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely silent.
Wait, I think I still hear something.
And then it's gone. Almost all of it, but for the faintest of hums. You can hardly hear your own breathing.
Yell as loud as you can.
Your voice is barely audible. Not a howl, but the softest of whimpers. It's unnerving.
Stomp your feet and clap your hands.
You produce a few muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even more total, somehow.
What's happening?
The lieutenant points to his ears and shakes his head. Then he leans closer.
Can you hear anything?
Almost nothing. And it's beginning to worry me.
The church just has strange acoustics, some engineering trick.
His detached tone conceals how uncomfortable he is.
Whatever it is, it's definitely real. Something odd is happening around us.
The lieutenant doesn't reply,
Look
but
up.
you can sense him tense up next to you.
Look up into the bell tower.
The orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible, then disappear completely in the darkness of the tower overhead.
I don't know if I'm going to get to try this again, so we're just going to go for it. 8%, so an 11 or a 12 gets us there. Snake eyes. Critical failure. Not even close.
Just darkness without end. It makes your head spin.
Blink.
You see something hanging from the rafters, looking straight at you with dark eyes.
A man's up there.
Maybe it's possible to talk to it. Is that a man? Looks more like part of the carpentry of the building came alive and is now studying you intently.
Say nothing. Be quiet for now.
The man leaned forward a little, fixing you with a steady, unreadable gaze, then speaks.
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry. Everything's gonna be alright. You come to the right place.
The right place for what?
Here you can receive the mother's love. And when you're ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of the despair at the bottom of that bottle.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do we really need to question him?
I'm put off by this religious stuff, he thinks. And maybe the ceiling climbing, too. It's all very hard to square with the lieutenant's own view of reality. Hey, and what was that about the bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already. Shish.
I'm a policeman. I need to talk to you about police things. I don't know anything about alcohol use.
Oh yeah, sure. You don't know anything about alcohol use. You got it all under control, Way. I could smell the control all the way over here.
Okay, fine. I'm struggling. But you don't need to lecture me. I know what I need to do.
Not all of it. I was like you once. You don't know all the havoc Albino is wrecking on your mind and your spirit. Necesita parar, homie.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
Look at these crazies. What is this shit?
Who do you think you are? Some crazy guy under the roof? What is this shit?
It doesn't matter who I am, Way. I'm just bringing you the message of the mother's love. She don't want you to hang yourself on your own stubbornness.
His words echo in the cold air of the church.
This is the church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here.
He sways gently on the beams, waiting for you to take it all in.
This Mother of Silence sounds like a serious player. You might want to be careful until you find out what you're dealing with.
Oh, I achieved both of my fitness goals today. That's nice. Do you know where the other spooker is? Point at the strange machines around you.
Other spooker? Oh, esa viejita es muy estudiosa. Don't know, Holmes.
So there is another person in the church, and it's a viejita.
No. I just call her viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. Or maybe not that young. Age is just one of the many masks we wear.
And you don't know where she is.
That's what I said, Holmes.
How can you not know when you both live here?
Don't really follow her comings and goings. Just see her typing on her computer now and then. We got different interests.
So you have nothing else to tell me? How she looks, what she does, who she is?
I'm afraid not, Essay. You just have to wait until she comes back, or...
You ever any chance heard the viejita say a password to a radio computer?
Too many times, Essay. You need it for something.
No need to overdo it. He won't mind sharing it with you.
Just tell me what's the password.
Don't sweat it, vato. The password is afterlife death.
That is true. But what comes after death?
What you think of that? Makes me almost pity La Nilita Pequeña when I hear it.
Some ravers want to turn this place into a nightclub.
The ones in the tent outside, right? I see them. Think they scared of me.
Wait, do they have a reason to be scared?
Nah, man. They look pretty funny. And I don't harm no one anymore. Anyway.
Though he used to, a long time ago.
So what do you think about the nightclub, that is?
Why not? They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up there, imbibing. Ain't no music on earth that can reach where I go. Might even be nice to have some company.
He said that in spite of himself. He's more attached to the human than he'd like to think.
Where did you come from?
Up there, Holmes.
He smiles, strangely, and turns his head up to look into the darkness of the church tower. Are you human? You aren't moving like a human.
I am. At least in part, Holmes. Into the mother's love burns away the cruel distinctions of the body.
Hey, are you a boyadero?
A boyadero? No, Holmes. I don't go in for that kind of thing. It's all about surrendering to the mother now.
You sound like you're not from around here.
Haven't you ever met a Mex before? Cabron. Surprising number of us around Rabashaw.
What's meth?
You know, I'm not so sure myself anymore. Don't really matter, though.
Well, at least you're human. That's a relief.
Glad you're feeling more comfortable. First-timers are always nervous.
There must be something illegal about living in a church ceiling. I don't know what yet, but there must be.
Oh, man. I would love to see that statue. I'm sure I'd be trespassing if the church was in use. But it's not, hombre. I done my share of illegal shit. Used to be in a gang, the whole deal. But even memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone.
Doom haunts me. Lost my memory too, but I like it. Whole new me, start again from scratch. So you used to be in a gang, but you don't really remember it. Sounds convenient. Alright, we'll be a dick.
Convenience has got nothing to do with what goes on up there.
He gazes up at the ceiling.
There's a profound longing in that gaze, like he wants to be one with whatever is up there, shrouded in darkness.
Do you remember your name, sir?
The lieutenant is not particularly interested in this information. He's just trying to assert some control over the conversation.
Tiago's my name. But those syllables don't mean much to me these days. A name isn't just your identity, but also, so to speak, your place amongst your fellows, your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such a place anymore.
My name's Harry. Extend your hand for a greeting.
That's just the thing, Holmes. None of that matters.
He ignores your hand, his limbs a mere shadow below the ceiling. What are you doing here?
This is a special place. There's a perforation in the world up there. A way out into nothingness. This church was built around it for purposes of veneration.
Into nothingness? Are you talking about the void, like the inter-isolary?
I circled it, nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. One of these days, I'll be pure enough to go drink from it directly.
This mother of silence? You mean her? Point to the window.
No. There's a new god in town, and she can't be painted or sculpted because she has no limb or even a face. She is the end. She is a cavity in the dark beyond sense. She saved me, but I couldn't describe her to you. No one can, Holmes, and no one ever will.
His adoration is beyond sexual. This cavity is something that no human form has.
What will happen when you drink from this perforation?
I will be incinerated, but not destroyed. Finally, I won with the state of the world before reality began.
You sure you didn't just switch one drug for another?
It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith and joyful service.
Faith is a kind of drug.
I heard that before, Way. And I know I can't convince you on the spot. But think, when's the last time you woke up from silent communion with a hangover, regretting what you did last night?
There are drugs darker than alcohol circling your system.
I think love might have been my drug of choice, and I think I'm still hungover from it.
She took you for a good spin, huh? Don't worry, bro. That love is but a drop compared to the ocean of the mother's love. The mother will eat all of you and never spit you out.
I was being insensitive. Sorry, let's move on.
No worries, man. I know this shit takes time.
I still don't understand what you're doing in the church.
I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory.
You should sing for me, the superstar cop.
I ain't from no Marietti, if that's what you're thinking. And the song I sing is silent as the mother.
How did you even find this place, this church?
Hard to say. I think I did some construction work here, back when I still had material worries. Up there, I realized what the true purpose of the church was. Been spending a lot of time here ever since. The past is nothing to me now, Way. It didn't belong to me.
Are these shoes lying around here? Are these your shoes lying around here?
I think they were. A long time ago. I had to shed them like skins to get closer to the center of the silence. You could have them. I don't need them anymore.
Right, I had other questions.
The sinewy figure lingers on the wooden beams, blending into the shadows.
You've been here for a long time. Do you see the police raid that took place here?
Something like that.
He responds, his voice suddenly flat.
Did you witness it?
Not really. Or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The mother's love has done its job. That's what's so great about the mother. It lets you forget about everything.
That doesn't sound good.
Could it be that he just doesn't want to discuss a police raid with another police officer?
Suggestion 14 out of 14. Okay then, thanks.
I think we're done here, Essay.
The figure crawls off into the darkness above.
That was an interesting conversation. However, I'm still not sure how it's relevant to our investigation.
Kim, I love you, but you gotta let me go on these. +1 pain threshold. Frost has drawn flowers on the glass, obscuring your view. A cracked pane of glass, colorful. Came from the stained glass window. Still has letters on it, too. Anything else around here?
Hey, Innocence Dolores Day liked little figurines, right? Liked holding little men between her fingers, remember?
What?
You have the headless Falcon Rider figurine. You should give it to her. Win her back.
I should, yes. This is a task of mine now.
So very, very, very nifty. Nifty and mysterious. This is surely what the figurines are for.
Interesting. So many skill points. Jeez.
The mother of humanism stands above you, a precious and complex wax painting on a single pane of glass. A crack runs across the length of her body, her face oval and sad.
Looks like I can't give this figurine to her.
Why?
Because she's a stained glass window.
That does seem to be a problem. Maybe you meant something else?
Like what? Is the task still on?
I don't know. What are we thinking of? Part of your mind has gone on to other things already. Only a strange little sadness remains. The mother of humanism towers above you, a wax painting on a cracked pane of glass. Nothing has changed in her expression.
Visual calculus. 28%.
Nothing. Just the edge of the crack sparkles in the dark. There may have been a writing here, but you cannot make out what it said.
Alright, we have a password for this. Let's give it a shot, and then I'm tired.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Press play again.
The speaker comes to life. Static seeps.
Good afternoon, Fortress Accident on Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
Let's try this again. I think I may have the right password for the personal log.
Good. Please repeat the password.
After life, death.
Good. I have unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Fortress Accident, is there anything else I can do for you today?
Thanks, but I'm finished with this call.
Goodbye, Fortress Accident.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Press print.
The printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal.
Read the printout.
The first entry, made on the 4th of February, 51, by an unknown author, is short and concise. Arrived at the church. The door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in. The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while.
Read the second entry.
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, all right. Still haven't figured out the electricity. See? Even one of the spookers themselves says it's unnerving. What was that about narcotics? This could prove to be interesting.
Read the third entry.
7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking ESCA series, something advanced.
Why would she need an antenna?
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
He steps on a wire running on the ground, inspecting it with his boot. Read the fourth entry.
8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna. Had some problems setting it up. Called Simo for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers. Artists, yet again, harassing citizens, stealing badges, occupying public spaces with installations, like the one here. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked. I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup, when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know. Everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right.
It's just like it's the same people from the district. A data loss?
Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about them to understand what the author is saying. Something about the backup data getting destroyed, and how everyone thought it was the author's fault. Let's just keep reading.
Artists, programmers, Lexi, who are all these people?
I think these people worked in the radio computer games business. The one we saw in the Doom commercial area. They must be our former co-workers.
Read the 5th entry.
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow, 8 a.m.
The strike. We are nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place.
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics.
Is she talking about?
Lieutenant looks to his right, towards the silence. Read the 7th entry.
28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the Swallow is real, and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence, with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here.
The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk?
But what could it be? Look at the water basins behind you.
The lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them. No ripples.
Read the 8th entry.
March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want anyone distracting me from my work.
She must be describing a cell.
The girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes.
Read the 9th entry.
March 51. I got a call from the repeater station. Someone has tried to access the radio computer in our old office in Martinez. Can't do anything about it. The storekeeper still doesn't want to let me inside the building. Thinks I'm part of some kind of curse. How Martinez of her.
That's me. I was the one who broke into that radio computer, and the storekeeper must be Plaisance.
I knew it wasn't a good idea to meddle with that machine.
You're wrong, Kim.
No. It was a great idea.
Thank you.
You're learning things. This is how you learn things about machines.
Read the 10th entry.
March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles. Crackers. Ping-pong energy drinks. Water. Toothpaste. Gum. Also, some canned air.
Psst. Someone's coming.
A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
So gaunt. Oh, with headphones. Yeah, she does look like a programmer.
breaking into my radio computer, I see.
She glares at you as she holds down the off key for several seconds. The machine reboots.
Yes, you are breaking in, but not into her radio computer. You're a master circuit bender.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
I can assure you, I'm an expert circuit bender. I'm not breaking into your computer. I'm using it to access Coalition military data links.
There are no Coalition military data links. And even if there was, you couldn't access them over a civilian network.
Yes, I could. I'm a cybernetic god. I'm using the network to commandeer Coalition warship Archer. I will turn its cannons against its masters.
That's nonsense. You're just a police officer.
She barely looks up at the keyboard. You hear the machine whir back to life.
Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
What is it?
The woman is still hunched over the keyboard, gently illuminated by the purring machine. I didn't break anything, did I?
No, you just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper.
It does not look like a big loss to her. Are you the lead programmer of the Wirral Untethered by any chance?
Yes. Or, no. Not anymore. That project is dead.
She doesn't seem surprised to be recognized. Rather sad. Something passes over her face before she straightens her back.
Sorry, but who are you? What are you doing here?
I am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages.
Only 2?
If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
Have you seen the man living up in the rafters?
No?
But you know he's around?
Yes.
He's seen you.
And?
Okay, it's probably not a big deal then.
No. You're right. I'm not.
Her voice trails off as she bent over to tinker with the machine's printer. Why are there so many machines in this place?
I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything.
Why do you need an antenna?
I use the AR-1 as my RAIN Prefect's processing unit.
Wait, what?
RAIN Prefect. My radio computer.
And that antenna is its processing unit.
Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you?
I know a little.
Alright. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna.
Wait, what's on air?
On the front. The unified front of radio waves. Licensed and controlled by Lintel in the East Insulindic region. It's all around us. That's what on air means.
And the AR-1? Is it a good antenna?
I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage, and the operation has been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market. So I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians. Anyway, you should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare the prices. There are many milieus dedicated to that sort of thing.
She liked telling you this. It calmed her nerves.
What are you doing with your radio computer?
I'm working.
Working on what?
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point. I really need to focus on something.
It's not just rudeness. It really is hard to concentrate on whatever she needs to do. And you're not helping.
What are those bowls of water over there?
They are connected to my RAIN Prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them, okay? Thanks.
Right, I'll try not to touch anything. Next question.
Great.
She dwells back in the glowing terminal. What are you doing in an abandoned church?
You really like those questions, don't you?
There's a hint of amusement in her tired eyes. I'm a police officer. It's my job to ask questions.
I'm conducting scientific research here. You can't throw me out.
She says, ready to stand her ground. What research?
I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said. The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Is a hole connected to the data loss in your journal?
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that.
A hole in the world? What does that mean exactly?
Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure nothing.
There's something frantic about her as she locks her gaze with you, eyes shining like pearls.
What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
She's suddenly absorbed in the conversation, waiting for your answer.
That's a little above your pay grade at the moment.
Damn. Hold on a moment. Does it mean we're living in a world that has holes in it?
I don't know. Are we? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. But how do I figure it out?
I can't even understand how we're talking about something that doesn't exist, let alone measure it.
You measure it by its surroundings, by that which does exist, which is what I've been trying to do. I've tried using hydro transducers to record the silence, to find out where it begins. But honestly, it's not progressing very well.
She grows silent, staring at her circle of basins. It looks like some ancient ritual.
But does it have anything to do with necroplasmic life forms? Ghosts, in everyday parlance.
Does it have anything to do with ghosts?
Ghosts? No, I don't think so. I don't believe in ghosts.
What about other supernatural entities?
I don't believe in them either.
What not many know is. That's probably wise, not believing in them.
Great. What are we talking about? And why?
She goes back to work, a clear signal that this branch of conversation is over. Do you have any idea where the hole might be located?
Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume.
She looks up, eyes trying to pierce the pitch-black heights above, but without much success.
Strange things may flourish in the dark.
Why there?
There's this place at the back of the church. A place where all audible vibrations seem to decease. I've named it the Swallow. And the higher you go, the less you record.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just an architectural quirk?
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place.
This is where the Crabman lives.
I know.
You don't think the Crabman might be somehow responsible here?
No, I don't.
She sounds mildly annoyed by this line of questioning. Her hands typing hundreds of commands into the machine.
You said that the research isn't going well, why not?
Because it's just trial and error, trying to locate the Swallow, the exact point in space. And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work.
That's all I wanted to know about the scary 2mm hole in the world, for now.
Great. Thanks.
How do you feel about anodic dance music?
What? I hate it.
Okay, well, that was quick. Why do you hate it?
Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music.
Right, but how do you feel about a club for anodic dance music?
This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here.
What do they want to build it then?
Take a guess, why don't you?
I'm still convinced that they want to establish a nightclub for anodic dance music. They said it's their dream.
I can't believe they got you so easily. Go have another talk with those up-and-coming entrepreneurs, will you? Thanks.
Good luck. I'm not coming in there.
Alright, I'll leave you to work in peace now. Oh, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm really tired. I'll be, back in just a moment.